think that's because he's just so focused on the job in hand that nothing will get in the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's moments that he'll bite my head off.
Did test positive for a banned substance. What was your reaction to that and thoughts?
Disgraceful, you know, it's turned the boxing world upside down. It brings a negative light on boxing. It's, you know, to see that happen, you know, with Conor Benn, I also, you know, we need some explanations. We need.
He's extremely stubborn. So he knows deep down, unless he's just a complete idiot.
After Conor Benn's arrest, his wife's initial reaction wasn't just supportive, it was unwavering. She stood firm, almost like a protective barrier. Still, despite her loyalty, the controversy surrounding Benn hasn't disappeared. On the other hand, Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't rely on anyone to vouch for him. His spotless reputation does all the talking.
We'll back him no matter what he decides. However, we will steer him away from being a fighter.
For Eddie Hearn to openly label Conor Benn a disgrace is a public blow of the highest order. Picture your own promoter calling you out, suggesting you're too fragile for the spotlight, too controversial to trust with money, and too embarrassed to even make an appearance. Benn appears defeated. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr. thrives under the spotlight, exuding confidence, elegance, and the presence of a genuine star.
The guy, firstly, the guy is not well. Secondly, the guy really should be here. But the fact that he's not involved, the fact that he couldn't take any money, the fact that he couldn't be involved in any decisions, stand in front of the cameras, is making him sick as a parrot.
Focus then turned to the stance of the British Boxing Board, and things only went further downhill for Benn. Not even Eddie Hearn, with all his influence, can pull him out of this spiraling situation. When the board refuses to grant approval, it sends a powerful message. Benn is now a fighter entangled in legal battles and surrounded by controversy. In contrast, Chris Eubank Jr. remains unaffected, willing and able to step into the ring under any spotlight, anytime, anywhere.
The statement he's actually saying is that we're not sanctioning this fight. There's ongoing conversations with the lawyers and the British Boxing Board of Control. Obviously, we want everyone to be comfortable. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. are aware of all.
Mackenzie speaks plainly. There's no sugarcoating it. Conor Benn returning his license looks like a silent confession. Failing 2 tests tells its own story. His credibility is in tatters, and his pleas for sympathy fall flat. While Benn gets lost in justifications, Chris Eubank Jr. continues to shine. His license secure, his confidence intact, and his reputation untouched.
Now, the fact that he's given back his license to the British Boxing Board of Control, who in my opinion are the best governing body in the world, bar none, it's kind of like a proof of admission, certainly. And for him to do what he's done, you know, they're talking about contamination, right? So if you've done it once, then you got caught out, then you do it again. It can't be contamination, can it? Because he's been caught twice for doing the same thing. So if it was me, take his...
Tony Bellew makes it clear. There's no rematch and no room for redemption. Questions now surround Benn's conditioning, mental toughness, and overall readiness. That's the real embarrassment. A fighter once hailed as the next big thing is now viewed as unworthy of the spotlight. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr. has already shown he's got the engine, the heart, and the composure to perform on the biggest stage.
We don't know what stamina and what engine he's got.
It's not about the stamina and the engine, it's more about the thought process and gaining that experience of being there and doing it. It's like when you go into your first 12-rounder, no matter how fit you are.
McAllister said he doesn't think Conor Benn cheated on purpose. But honestly, feeling sorry for him just makes things worse. When people pity you instead of respecting you, it means your career is falling apart. McAllister's words show sympathy, not trust. The truth is simple, failing 2 drug tests can't be ignored. No excuse will change that. Benn was once seen as the future of British boxing. Now he's only carrying shame. Chris Eubank Jr. is different. He doesn't need anyone to defend him. His hard work, discipline, and clean record speak for themselves. While Benn gets pity, Eubank earns respect. That's the real difference between scandal and honor.
I do not think that Conor Benn would have intentionally took steroids. And that's just my opinion. He's a young, fit, strong guy. I do not see why he would need to do that. And even moving up weight, I don't see why he would need to do that. He walks about that way anyway. But for me, the key is, like I say, I feel sorry for Ed.
The backlash didn't stop. It only got stronger with every new reaction. Johnny Nelson's response captured the chaos around Conor Benn perfectly. There's confusion, doubt, and immediate calls for an investigation. That's what happens when trust is broken. Once a fighter is caught in scandal, everything they say or do becomes questionable. Nelson's hesitant delivery shows both shock and disbelief that the sport has reached this low. Although Benn passed the UK test on paper, the stain of his failed tests overshadows that fact. Fans don't believe him. Experts don't buy it, and the sport suffers because of it. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't have to deal with investigations or doubts. He trains, fights, and wins. That's what a true professional does. Benn, on the other hand, has turned his career into a courtroom drama. Nelson's words underline just how serious the situation is.
Going to be there needs to be an inquiry straight after this. Why? What? But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you. I'm quite sure when this goes out, it'll be all over the place anyway. But all I can say is
Chris Eubank Jr. delivered his message with calm confidence. Take the offer or leave it, either way he wins. That's the real difference in this rivalry. While Conor Benn scrambles to defend his name in headlines and courtrooms, Eubank Jr. stays focused on his legacy and greatness, moving forward no matter the chaos around Benn. It's humiliating for Benn that the very man he was meant to rival doesn't even need him anymore. Eubank Jr. is building his career, gaining fans and earning respect whether Benn shows up or not. Meanwhile, Benn's entire future depends on whether he can even get licensed again. That's the reality. One man chasing greatness, the other stuck in scandal. Eubank Jr. said it best. Fight or no fight, he's destined for bigger things. Benn's relevance is hanging by a thread. Want me to keep polishing your other parts like this?
It's not a message. The offer's been sent, and you either take it or leave it. And if you leave it, then I'm going to be great either way.
Is it done forever if this is a no this time?
I'm not going to say that. The fight's never done forever. As long as we're still breathing, the fight is going to be of interest.
Spencer Oliver and Simon Jordan cut through all the noise with brutal honesty. No second chances. Fail a test and you're done. That's the reality every clean fighter deserves. And for Conor Benn, it's a harsh blow to his career. Their stance exposes the cracks in Benn's defense. If he's let off easy, what message does that send to the sport? Benn's humiliation is complete. His integrity torn apart, his reputation propped up by excuses, and now experts are calling for a lifetime ban. There's no place in boxing for cheats, repeated failures, or endless drama. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't rely on loopholes or sympathy. His career is built on discipline, dedication, and respect for the sport. Oliver and Jordan's message is clear. Boxing deserves better than Benn, and Eubank Jr. is proof of that standard.
I've always been strong on that. I've always been strong on the fact that I don't believe in giving them a second chance.
You're basically saying no 3 strikes and you're out.
No 3
strikes and you're out.
No.
One, you fail a test and gone ski.
Absolutely, because I just believe then that moving forward, people would think twice about doing it. If they think, well, you know what, I'll get a second chance anyway.
Mackenzie's breakdown is a slap in hearing. A respected figure say you're not a big puncher and that you've made a fool of yourself. That's humiliation beyond repair. Benn promised knockouts and swaggered like his father, but in reality, he was swinging wildly, head down, throwing punches without aim or skill. That's not championship boxing. That's playground brawling. Duke McKenzie made it even clearer. Benn is not his dad. That's the toughest truth. Nigel Benn built a legacy with raw power, grit, and respect. Conor has the name, but none of the glory. Meanwhile, Chris Eubank Jr., the man Benn disrespected, keeps showing skill, calm, and a mindset built for the big stage. Benn's humiliation comes from that comparison. His punches were reckless, his promises empty. When legends openly question your credibility, your career's foundation is already crumbling.